happy? Shannon?
News is happy. We are happy because we have finally got some information about Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Or as the internet is now calling it, Pokemon Swish.
Swish. Swoosh.
Which I'm pretty. The Swish on Switch.
Yeah, swash.
I'm gonna have to go back to speech.
The funny thing I actually noticed is that whenever we talk, whenever people in the West talk about Pokemon, just in general, like on YouTube or a video games website, they always talk about like, oh, the new games, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Pokemon Black and White, Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you watch the Direct, they never use that. They always call it Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. They do not.
At least they cut out the version, because it used to be like the titles, official titles used to be Pokemon Ruby version, Pokemon Sapphire version.
Yes.
And they just cut out version, I think from X and Y onwards. Like they aren't X and white version. I'm pretty sure black version, white version still.
Yeah, and it's black version 2 and white version 2. Yeah. But yes, from X and Y they've cut out the version.
Yeah, which is good because it just makes that just sound less clunky. But yeah, no, I had noticed that. I think around Let's Go, Let's Go, when they were like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I'm like, bro.
Just stop.
Yeah.
We have a release date. November 15th.
1 week after Death Stranding.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
It's going to be so fucking whiplash.
Oh, God. Isn't Jedi Fallen Order in that same week, too?
Probably. Or maybe the week after.
Because I'm pretty sure it's November 12th. Because Pokemon November 15th, which means it launches on a Friday, which is Nintendo's traditional release date. They like launching on Fridays.
Releasing on Fridays now.
Well, Nintendo's always launched on a Friday for the most part. But
just Star Wars would be a traditional. Man, if one was to have the time to just fucking back to back those 3 games.
Oh, talk about a broken individual. Just be like,
at least they end on a happy note. Like.
Pokemon's we'll see.
In terms of a lighter note, I should say.
Yeah. I don't know. This 15-minute Pokemon Direct had a lot.
A lot.
It was a lot, and it was very interesting. Comparing it to the sort of rolling press releases for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Because what they did was they kind of announced it, and then kind of every month leading to the release of the game, they would do like little information drops.
Yep.
And you'd get like a 3-minute trailer about one very specific mechanic in the game.
Like in this case, we would have gotten like Wild and then Dynamax.
And it would have been like one a month, and they kept stacking up until like you got to November and you knew everything about the game. What's interesting about this is they did the drop in, was it February? Was it early March?
End of February. Yeah,
where they announced it was coming, and then they went radio silent until 2 days ago.
Yeah.
At time of recording.
Yeah.
So they went radio silent on that one, and that was a good move, I think. Because the other thing is when I lay this out against like what we receive from Sun and Moon in sort of the same time period, it's about the same amount of information, but instead of doing it in 3-minute videos over that, they did it in one big 15-minute one. And even looking at as much as on here, I guarantee you this is nowhere near half the story.
No.
There's so much more to come in this game.
We've only seen 2 towns? Like
maybe
hometown,
a third.
Maybe a third.
Sort of in the montagey stuff.
Yeah. That's not how many, like there's 8 gyms probably.
And there's a couple of rumors, leaks out there. There's a rumor out there that was reported on about a week or 2 ago by a lot of people. It listed enough stuff that happened in this direct that it seems to be confirmed. So there's stuff in there that hasn't been there. I'm not going to talk about that shit. We're going to talk about what's actually in the direct. So let's start with what you've got here, Dynamaxing. This is the gimmick. This is the Mega Evolution, the Z-move.
Yeah, no, this is... I told you, because we stayed up at 11 o'clock to watch it.
Yep.
In different houses.
Yes.
In the same bed. No.
Ow, that hurt.
Sorry. I just followed my train of thought. I'm like, that's where it's going. Can't stop it. But, we were saying how, like, this is just that. It's going to be gimmicky. It's not going to be moving forward. Like, we'll probably get Gen 4 remake out of this, and then when Gen 9 comes out, it probably won't be in that, because Mega Evolution hasn't really gone hasn't been expanded upon outside of Gen 6.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. It is always in the following generations. Like you can The same will be here in Sword and Shield. You can collect all. I'll bet you can collect all the Mega Stones. I'll bet they'll find a way to get you all the Z crystals as well.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do that and use those. My questions will be: the answer will probably be no, but will you be able to overlap a Mega and a Dynamax? Probably not.
I reckon because it looks like Dynamax is for specific Pokemon.
No. They specifically have said on the Pokemon website all Pokemon can Dynamax.
All 800.
All Pokemon can Dynamax. Because, as far as I can tell, the Dynamax system is not based on a series of items that the Pokemon has to hold. It's based on location.
Oh.
Yeah,
so you have to... for the raids, it's for...
No, so you have to have the bracelet thingy or whatever they've showed so far. And again, they're going to have... So basically, they're going to have something on your wrist from now until the end of time. Because that thing on the wrist will serve as the keystone for Mega Evolution, the Z Crystals for Z moves, and as the Dynamax system. And whatever else they come up with on the next one. And whatever
it's going to become a Ben 10 wristwatch.
Yeah, by the end of it, you're going to be able to do the fucking...
Gen 20.
Yeah, by the end of it, you'll be able to fuse with your Pokemon using this shit. I guarantee it.
Mech Pokemon. Fucking... Mech Pokemon.
Yeah, okay.
Mind
yeah.
Link. What are they called? Drift compatible.
Whatever.
It's going to happen.
But the thing there is that it is location based. So in the location that the raids take place and in other special locations, i.e. the gym stadiums, and probably the location of the Elite Four and probably whatever location the legendary battle takes place in will probably be like...
The legendary will definitely be
Dynamaxed, yeah.
On the note of Dynamax, people have said this makes sense why Godzilla was mentioned in the Pokemon press conference.
Yes. Because it's Pokemon Kaiju battles.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So the Pokemon grow huge. The visual of the Pokemon grass, like the gym leader and the trainer, like staring off at each other, making their giant Pokeballs, throwing it behind them and just standing in front of their giant ass Pokemon was a cool visual. Like, it was really, really cool. But... For me, what I kind of look at Dynamaxing as is probably it feels like the end conclusion to a problem that they have been trying to solve over the last couple of years with Mega Evolution and Z moves. And that is like a balancing issue, creating balance and giving Pokemon that may not be competitively viable, now making them competitively viable. Because
all of them can do it unless...
Well, that's the thing is that there's a turn restriction. So the Dynamax only lasts 3 turns. Yeah. So it feels like that middle ground between a Z move, which only is 1 turn of just like basically a one-hit KO.
Yeah.
And a Mega Evolution, which is 1 Pokemon on the team gets an entire battle's worth of a stat increase. Yeah. This kind of meets it in the middle, where it's 3 turns of a stat increase and some powerful moves. Every Pokemon on your team can use it, and you get to select when and which one it is.
Yeah.
So it feels like a nice marriage between the two. And if there is a mechanic that they will continue forward rather than just ditching at the end of the generation, this feels like the one. Yeah. Because it doesn't require them to continually generate new art assets, which I think is the problem with Mega Evolution, is that it's a great idea and I would love to see more, but it means that they need to find the time to have artists create new versions of these older Pokemon. And the Z moves is you got to create new animations for every single Pokemon. And again, we've already gone through the 18 types. Like they've got one for each type and then some exclusive ones for individual Pokemon. The only place to go is more exclusive ones for more individual Pokemon. And again, that's time in animating. Whereas in this one, just like how Water Gun's animation is the same across all of the Pokemon who can use Water Gun, it's going to be like that. It's the same animations when you're up, but all you need to really do is upscale the Pokemon. Yeah. And that's an easy way that they can make sure that every single Pokemon has the ability to be competitively viable again. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. Yeah. I like the way it looks. I was concerned with some of the frame rate issues I was seeing.
Pokemon, I think since it's gone 3D, or even kind of since Diamond and Pearl, they've had some degree of frame rate issues.
I mean, Black and White didn't run too badly. Neither did Black 2 and White 2, actually, for that matter.
That would make sense, because they're more refined.
They were really good. I still can't remember if this is a new engine or not. I think it's still the Sun and Moon engine that they're running on. So it might be an engine problem, but we were talking about it as well last night, that this definitely feels like a half step. Like towards what they probably want Pokemon to be in the future. But I really, like a more substantial half step than I ever thought they were going to do. This is way more than what I was expecting. So part of the Dynamaxing system is the max raid battles, which we mentioned slightly. So 4-player and against a Dynamax Pokemon, unlike in a regular battle, the Dynamax Pokemon is Dynamaxed for the entire battle. Yep. But one trainer in the 4 can Dynamax theirs in that battle for 3 turns. So it's one trainer, the other 3...
Do they just have to wait until that Dynamax Pokemon ends and then they can do their Dynamax?
No. Out of the entire battle, you get one shot at a Dynamax. So you need to coordinate. That's the whole point. It's about you should be doing this with friends or some people online and coordinating. Be like, okay, we're going up against a max raid Gyarados, so we need an electric Pokemon. Does anyone have a decent electric Pokemon that can Dynamax? Yep. Yes, I've got this. Cool. We're all going to set up our protection, or we're going to set up this, or we're going to do that, and then you're going to hit him with the Dynamax, and then we're going to do this, and you're going to do that. Like, it's about coordination. Yeah. More than the Pokemon Go raids, which is just...
And just have a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So, that is just brute force through numbers. A lot of people try to meta it and like try to beat legendaries with like 2 Tyranitars, but you have to have perfect IV and whatever. That's so intense. Like there will probably be that community for this, but like what this like I said earlier, this will be also to you. This opens up for post-game stuff. Like there probably will be exclusive legendary through this system. There is probably event Pokemon, like whatever the Celebi of this generation is. Specifically through this.
And then it changes, based on time of day, weather, a whole bunch of other factors, where you are in the world. Yeah. I think this opens up as well, because I watch a lot of PokeTubers, and even the stream that I watched was a PokeTuber reacting to the said stream, because I just wanted something extra than just that. But one of the things that I thought about was that this will actually open up challenge runs, because the community does a lot of challenge runs, like Nuzlocke and things like that. Because Dynamaxing the Pokemon is, I believe, optional in battle. Yeah. And,
it have to be, like Mega Evolution and stuff,
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, but I would assume there's probably one battle where you have to do it to show it off.
For a tutorial,
Yeah, probably in the grass gym, you probably have to do that one. But they say very explicitly that mastering the Dynamax system is going to be crucial, because every gym leader is going to have Dynamax Pokemon. This could open up a new challenge of play the game without Dynamaxing. Do it. Yeah. And see what happens. And see if you can do it. See if you can train your Pokemon so that you don't have to do that and beat this big-ass Pokemon on your own.
Saying that, without adding difficulty levels specifically, that's actually a good way to go about making the game harder. Just don't use this one feature.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Yeah. Then you focus on your IV training, or just catching just decent...
Yeah, decent set Pokemon and leveling up and grinding and doing all the stuff, and
using having a proper team dedicated towards killing this Pokemon, as opposed to having the 1 or 2 Pokemon that is good to okay.
Diversifying your
balanced team, you can beat a gym on 1 and 2 Pokemon.
Yeah, absolutely. It is
I like that idea.
Yeah, it opens it up. There's more options here. The Max Raid Battle is 4-player. It can be local co-op or it can be online.
They didn't specifically say online with friends, which there's a game coming out, I forget what it is, that doesn't have online with friends through...
Super Mario Maker 2.
Yes, that's it. And, can you just say those words with Pokemon? Because Pokemon is all about friendship.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Pokemon is all about friendship, and they always have... maybe they just decided they didn't need to say that because Pokemon always has a friends list. Always. Yeah. Ever since they've brought in online features, you can be like, this person is a friend of mine, and have them linked up and be able to do shit like that. And it's really, really basic. But again, also, I think maybe the thought process here is that if you're playing with your friends, when it comes to Pokemon specifically, it has been 20 years of when I play with my friends, I'm in the same room as them because it's Pokemon, because we're trading, because ever since the Game Boy days, you had to be next to the person you were playing with. Yeah. So maybe there's just that carryover of just no, look, when they're going to play with their friends, they're going to be together. But if they want to play online with people that are across the globe, they can as well. Yeah. The other thing that they've also mentioned, I don't know if they put it on the website or if it was in a tweet or something like that, but if you're on your own, during a max raid battle, it will drop 3 AI characters.
AI, okay. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like matchmaking or something.
No. You can do it solo, and they'll just drop 3 AI characters to help you out. Not the best solution, but means that those raid battles are doable if you are unable to play with friends.
Cool.
Either way, so yeah.
Interesting. I like that because I pretty much solo Pokemon.
So do I.
I rely on people where I can, or I'll just buy the version.
Well, they're doing a double pack on this one, so that's what I'm gonna get.
Yeah, well, apparently they've been doing double packs in America for ages.
Oh, really?
Ever since probably Johto, but those were like $30 games, and when you bought the two of them, they were $60, which is the price of a normal game.
Right.
Which you can see those two games as one game together.
Yeah.
Whereas now that they're proper $60 games in America, it's gonna be. Are they gonna be $120? Or can be fucking wild here.
In Australia, the double pack is like a cheaper.
I haven't seen the prices yet.
$79.95, I believe.
Total
for the individual games.
Okay. Yeah, that checks out. 79. I'm pretty sure that's what Let's Go was.
$79.95, and then the the double pack is $159. So it's like a $20 discount across.
Yeah, $20 makes sense.
Yeah.
$150. That's out of my price range. Also
it comes with a steelbook, I think.
Ooh. That's
a gold dual steelbook.
Okay.
That you can put both copies of the game into.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the old DS stuff where you could put the DS cartridge in and the Game Boy Advance cartridge.
Yes.
That's how I store Ruby, because Game Boy boxes break down really easily.
Because it's
just cardboard.
Yeah, because it's on. I'm just trying to find the current pricing on this one.
I'm just trying to.
Because it's $120 on the Nintendo shop, like their American pricing.
Okay, yeah, 150 checks out then. 149.
150. I think it's $59.90. $159.95. Yeah. So $79.95 each. $159.95.
$159.99. That's how much like the super special deluxe editions online, like Star Wars Ultimate, goes for.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but at the end of the day, you are receiving 2 games.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that didn't like.
Yeah.
The original placeholder price for this thing was $179.95, and I was like, that's too much.
That's literally not quite. That's more than 80. That's just to the price.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there was no confirmation on what the Australian pricing would be.
Yeah.
But now it's at $159.95. That is, what is that? $80 a game.
Mm-hmm.
There's basically no discount, actually. Yeah, because it's $79.95 for it. So basically, it might actually be 5 cents dearer.
I think it is.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's $159.95. Like it's 2 full games. Like I don't care what people say about like, they're half game. They're not.
I think like when they were more portable games, that argument made a little bit more sense. But now that they're proper console, very nearly proper console games.
Yeah, I mean they're fully fledged. They'll be fully fledged. Like this one here, in particular. Like we'll move on to like things like the Pokemon battles and all that kind of stuff in the wild area. These things are fully fledged, full console experience. And you're going to get 2 of them. Yeah. So, like, fuck you, pay double. Like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. The thing was, I just like the fact that, like, this thing will come packaged together and I'll get a nice case with it. So I'm like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll pay the extra 5 cents.
I think I want a seamless open world game.
Like, you'll get it. I think you'll get it next generation.
Yeah.
So, like, we'll move on to here to the wild.
I really hope so, because, I don't know, like, I feel like even basing the idea that this is PS3 technology, we had those types of games. Like, we had Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, I just want, like... I don't want Skyrim, like, that level of interactivity, but I just want that, like, walk into a town and, like, in 3D, control the camera sort of stuff.
I think the thing is that we want this idea for Pokemon so bad, but the other thing that I sort of went... Because I've watched a lot of different reactions to this, and one of the things is, like, it's a Pokemon game, so there's a bunch of people out there who just want a fucking Pokemon game. And if you mess with that too much, you're going to lose that audience.
Yeah. And
they proved that in Sun and Moon. They messed with the gym system and people weren't happy with it.
Yeah.
So, and like, when it comes to every generation they've ever done anything, like Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was the end of their 3DS cycle. The first step onto it was X and Y, which is a great leap forward, but it was missing a lot of stuff. It was very straightforward, quite easy.
Yeah.
Didn't have a lot, like it introduced Mega Evolution, but a lot of the stuff was bare bones in there. There wasn't a post game in X and Y. It was like a 20-minute epilogue, and that was about it. But in my opinion, it's still the best one to do like post game stuff in terms of like breeding and getting all that kind of stuff. Like the areas are good for that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Like it was really easy for me to breed up a team of 6 in X and Y.
Yeah.
But then they improve it on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Then they improve it in Sun and Moon. And then finally you get Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is a game that is quite difficult in certain spots. Has a really good story. Has balanced mechanics. A lot of different Pokemon. Really long post game with the Rainbow Rocket episode. Like it's got all the things that you want in a Pokemon game on a 3DS. And it's pushed the system to its limits.
Yeah, to the point where I've seen videos of the original launch. The non-new 3DSs don't run it all that well. Like it is choppy.
No, it's difficult. Yeah. So looking at Sword and Shield, actually kind of looking at Let's Go, that's kind of your starting point.
It is a very rudimentary starting point.
Yeah, basically that was them just going, will a Pokemon game even work on this goddamn thing? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And then you move to Sword and Shield, and this is their start. This is the I guess you would call Let's Go, like, if this is a race and you're looking for the starting point, Let's Go is stretching before the starting line.
Yeah.
That's basically what that is.
I can see that.
And then your Sword and Shield is your starting point. Because with the wild areas, it's not an open world.
Because it still seems like it has linear tracks in it.
It does, because like the thing is with the wild areas is I think the way, I've been looking at the map trying to figure this out, and I think what it means is that anything in the sort of middle-ish area between the towns, even up into the north area, all that's wild area.
Yeah, that's what I got from it, yeah.
And then there are routes that connect the towns along the edges that are just traditional routes.
Yeah.
But there's the wild area, which is your... And I think this has been addressing something that I've actually been trying to voice for a while, is that fucking stop calling everything open world. It's not an open world, it's a sandbox.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's a sandbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if I want an open world Pokemon game. Because open world implies certain things about like the nature of the world changing and mechanics and all this kind of stuff and sort of things that I don't want from a Pokemon game, that I kind of want like lay it out for me. Give me the paths, give me the gyms, give me the routes. Let me do my shit. Let me get to the end. Let me get to the Elite Four. I don't want, like, people are like, I want side quests. I don't want side quests in Pokemon. I don't want to go fetch questing in Pokemon. The game itself is a fetch quest.
It is, which is why side quests seem cool, but like,
side questing maybe, but like I don't want a bunch of open world fetch quests in my Pokemon game because, like I said, there's 802 Pokemon I got to fetch already, so I'm done with fetch questing. We don't even know what the size of the Pokedex is at this point, but it'll probably be
at least 5 new Pokemon. It's 10. I think there's 10 now.
Scorbunny, Sobble, Grookey. What's it called?
The Metal Bird.
Glossifleur, Eldegoss, Wooloo, Corviknight, Zacian, Zamazenta.
Okay, 10-ish. And then you add 6 to the starters.
Yeah, we don't know them yet. They haven't been revealed. There's 9 revealed Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then most likely a couple extras. We'll get into that later. But yeah, this open world area, like...
what? Okay, if they are moving to an open world like I want, this actually does make a good... a good foundation, that's what I'm looking for. In terms of like, those Pokemon exist in the world. Like when you're on the water, they're just a Milotic.
Yeah.
It's like cool, and you can probably run into it. And like, it seems like it's a different placement to how, what do you call it? Let's Go did, because Let's Go they just randomly popped up and they were there. Whereas this one, they don't seem like they like spawn and they're permanently there, but they kind of do.
They seem like the difference is that, like, again, with Let's Go being like the stretching was just kind of getting the tech of like how do Pokemon move in the overworld, and like even on the Switch, like if you got too many Pokemon on Let's Go popping up on the screen at the same time, the frame rate just tanked.
Yeah.
But you're right. The screenshots and what they showed off in this trailer made it feel like instead of the Pokemon just spawning and then disappearing, it felt like they existed in the world. They were interacting with the world. The Milotic was diving and moving. There was a Mantine in the background flying around. The Pokemon felt like they were part of the world, which is, when it came to Pokemon in the overworld, that's what people wanted. Yeah. They didn't just want, we can see it. They wanted the Ponyta to eat the grass and then run away. Like, that's what we want, is the way it feels. Yeah. And it definitely feels like they are inching ever closer to that game that we want. But yeah, it's sandboxy. It is going to be big. There's going to be a lot of stuff to do. I feel like it will open up a lot of possibilities. For me, the most exciting part about that was the number of different Pokemon that you could see. How probably in the wild area, you could go deep into the wild area before hitting routes. And that opens up the selection of Pokemon for the early game. Because one of the most frustrating things is that you always end up with your starter, then you catch the early root rat, and then you catch the fucking bird, and then you got to catch this and that, and then you end up like halfway through the game and you got this... Yeah, you got to get the bug and all that kind of stuff, and then you end up halfway through the game and you got this team of Pokemon that aren't great, you don't like, and then you get to the end of the game and you're like, there's all these cool Pokemon, but I can catch them now, but they're already level 50, so I don't get to train them. Yeah. Or I'm hatching eggs and I can't level them up because it just takes too long. But with the wild area, maybe that gives it a little bit more openness of like, there was a fucking Tyranitar just walking around.
Was there?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a Rhydon, but I don't remember.
There was a Tyranitar. Yeah, there was a wild Tyranitar, wild Avalugg. There was a lot of stuff there. And there is still wild encounters as well, which I like. I like the randomness of being able to walk in. Which was one of the complaints from the community about Let's Go, is that one of their the Nuzlocke style of challenges to do over like Pokemon is difficult to do in Let's Go, because one of the things with Nuzlocke is that it's meant to be it's about the random chance. Yeah. Because you're meant to walk into a patch of grass and the first Pokemon that you encounter is the one you get. Yeah. But when you've got all of them on the screen and you can choose which one you get to encounter, it removes that element of randomness, which.
You can just stick to the rules of the first one you see, you go after.
But if 6 appear on screen at one time, it just doesn't mean, it means it's not as random, because you can always, humans will always do it, where it's just like 6 appear at one time and your eye will be drawn to the first one that you want. Yeah. And you're like, I really want that Pidgey. I'm like, yeah, but that Weedle came first. No, I want the Pidgey. Like, you know what I mean? I understand, yeah. So, whereas the random encounters in the grass allows to, like, I'm just going to step into the grass and boom, it's a Weedle. I guess that's what I'm stuck with. Yeah. And that still allows that to happen in this game as well with the random grass encounters. So I like that being there. Yeah. We got so much information on this game. We got peoples and bits. We got the Rotom phone.
It's back. I didn't know what the thing. I thought Ash got it. I'm like, okay.
Well, Rotom Pokedex. Yeah. But the Rotom phone is... I just hope it shuts up, because that was my biggest complaint in Sun and Moon.
Talks.
Yeah, it's on the bottom screen the whole time, and it will
bottom screen,
it will say it just says stuff, and it just wouldn't shut the fuck up. It was constantly like, "Hey, do you want to go do this?" It was basically Navi but without a voice. Like, it was basically, "Hey, listen, shut up."
Oh, that playing for 3 hours. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, it did that. It was like, hey, you've been playing for a while. Did you want to save now? And you're like, God, I will save when I am fucking ready, you piece of shit.
Saving specifically is not a bad reminder.
No, but at least in the second one, it had a feature called the Roto Lotto, so it gave you items every now and then, which was handy, but yeah. But the cool thing is it can make the bike go faster, make the bike go on water. Like, it seems like it's going to be the upgrade feature that replaces the Poker Ride feature, because the Corviknight is the thing that takes you... It's a fast travel system. Which I like that idea, because again, it feels more feels like an open world game, because Corviknight's fast travel. Yeah. It's not fly; it's just fast travel. Yeah. Go to a city you've been to before.
And it's further getting rid of the idea that HMs are needed. So if you need to interact with Pokemon that are in the area to do Rock Smash or whatever, you need to befriend them or talk to this person.
I just think that things like Rock Smash and Cut are just done. I think they just might remove them from like overworld usage, because like it's the wild area. The way the wild area looks like they're going towards exploration, like there's nothing it would feel stupid and silly to have a bush you couldn't go past when you're in the wild area and I could just walk around it.
Yeah.
Like, they're basically creating that sort of feeling again. Because, like...
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I feel like they may just kind of remove that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Rotophone, it'll act as the Pokedex as well, probably, so that'll be fine.
Annoying, because I didn't know it was annoying, now I'm really worried.
Yeah, no, he was annoying as fuck in those games. And then they introduced us to the champion of the region, Leon, who, he's a good-looking character.
Yeah, no, I thought, because they just show his design first, and,
yeah.
and then they introduce him, and then Leon came, I'm like, of course his fucking name's Leon.
Yes, but also he's probably, I'd say he's probably my favourite champion since Cynthia?
In terms of design?
Yeah. I like
Cynthia is cool.
Cynthia's the coolest
one.
one.
Like Steven?
I like Steven.
Yeah.
I think I prefer in Emerald when it's Wallace.
Yeah.
I think I prefer that.
Yeah.
I like Lance, but he's a bit too much.
Yeah. And also Lance felt cheap.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the fact that your rival's the champion in the first game. I've never liked that.
It's very anime in terms of they're always one step ahead of you, but then you finally beat them and it feels good. And
but the thing is, he was never one step ahead of me because every time we met in the game, I kicked his ass.
Oh, I mean, like in terms of progression, like he'd already beaten the gym you were at.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It just I didn't like it because I prefer the idea of there being this extremely powerful trainer who's just running around. I like Alder in Gen 5. He's really cool. I like him because he's like, in both the anime and the game, he's like, he's immensely powerful, but kind of a goof, and kind of just like
Goku.
Yeah, a little bit. Like a little bit of a Goku, like where he's like immensely powerful, incredible trainer, but is way more interested in people having a good time and having fun than he is in power and strength. Yeah. But the second he's in a Pokemon battle, like his main Pokemon Bouffalon just fucking destroys. And he's like, I don't care. He's just like, I don't care. I'm here for the food. Like he's really fascinating. Cool. Diantha was a bit too much because she's an actress and she was a bit of a pushover though. That was my biggest problem with Diantha, was that she was like really easy. And 7, I didn't like Kukui. Gen 7. Kukui is technically the champion. He's the one you have to face. But it's weird because technically, like, Alola doesn't have a Pokemon champion because it doesn't have a Pokemon League until the game that you play. And at the end of your game, they create the Pokemon League. So you're technically its first champion. Yeah. So that's like a different thing.
That's the impression I got from Kanto, was because if this is all set in the same timeline.
It's not. It's not.
Okay, from the idea, it's like from like time progresses as it does. Like so, the Kanto games take place in the 90s. This takes place in 2009.
Yeah, there are 20 years between Sun and Moon and Red and Blue. Yes, that is true.
From the point of that, your Blue was the first. Like the Elite Four had just been established. He comes in, beats them. And then that's always the impression I got with that.
I didn't get that impression because we go to Johto 2 years later and they've had Lance for ages.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. Like people, they cycled out because like the Elite Four, which is there, like they just established there was no prior champion because the whole idea is like the Elite Four. But wait, there's one more thing, and then it's just the champion, which had never been a thing. It sounds like it was never a thing before that. So you have to also face the champion, the final challenger with your rival. Yeah, that's how I always got the impression of that thing. But then, like moving forward, because there was a champion, like Johto, was 2 years later, so there would have been like 2 years of champions, and Lance just took it over.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I get that, but yeah, I prefer there being this immensely powerful trainer that you can strive to be like. Yeah. And I like Leon's design. I like the idea. I like the fact that they've specifically stated the fact that he is undefeated in official Pokemon matches. That's his character line. Official Pokemon matches. So I am hoping that they do a thing in the story where he has been beaten by a trainer in an unofficial setting. And they keep it secret. No, I'm thinking maybe it might be Sophia, Sonia. Sorry, Sonia. Yeah. The Professor Magnolia's.
It's probably going to be that.
Yeah, that she's beaten him before, maybe years ago, but it's his only loss or something like that. Yeah. Like I would like the story to revolve around Leon possibly being slightly a bit of a fraud. or hiding something from people, being like, because he's so upfront and like over the top and all that kind of stuff. I'm hoping there's something a little bit deeper because I really like his design and I love the idea. Like the shot where they introduce you to him and he's in the foreground and his Charizard's getting up in the background. Like it's just a cool shot. Yeah. And I like the fact that your rival in this game will be his younger brother, Hop.
That's interesting. Hop, yeah.
Hop. His name is Hop.
Yeah. I'm probably going to rename that one. Usually I like default names, but Hop just so...
I'll keep Hop.
But, having the younger sibling of a champion, I'm like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully... I want there to be good character stuff between them, but I don't know. I haven't played a core Pokemon game since Omega Ruby, which is a remake, so that the writing's just inherent with the Game Boy Advance. But point is, I want it to be good and have interesting characters and stuff, and I don't know if Pokemon can actually deliver on that.
I'm sure they can. They have in the past. Gen 5 it delivers on really interesting characters. I think the idea of this is actually really, really good. I think it will be. I think what Hop will end up doing is what will end up happening is he'll probably try to emulate his brother too much. It'll probably be a story of like he's trying to be like his brother too much. He should be trying to be like him. Yep. If Hop can be like himself, then he will actually be a better trainer. Yeah. It's a kid's game, remember. It's not going to be too complicated.
Oh, yeah, no.
We're introduced to the Professor Magnolia.
Yeah.
The plant theming continues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They seem like they've moved away from trees and more...
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing that a lot with a lot of their tropes over the last couple of generations. Like, yes, they're still... the trees were named... the professors were named after trees all this time, but the Kukui's a nut that grows on a tree. Yeah. That grows on a bush or a fern. But it still very much sticks to, like... Look, the professors' last names will be very much...
Yeah. They probably run out of cool tree names.
Probably,
Was there a Professor Mahogany?
No, there has not been a Professor Mahogany.
That's a missing one.
Yeah. And they've got Professor Willow in the Pokemon Go game.
Yeah.
Mahogany's probably another one that they can do later on, but Magnolia I think is good for her design as well. I like the look of her.
Yeah. Do you remind me of Agatha from Gen 1?
Yes, and I kind of
because she's old and has a walking stick. Yeah. But
I'm hoping that she's got the same sort of personality though, where she's a little bit like gruff.
Yeah. Just over it all, but also gets that super because like she's meant to be like the leading researcher on Dynamaxing.
Yes.
And like the professor will always be the leading researcher of the gimmick.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Well, that's the way it's always been. So Professor Oak's the leading researcher in Pokemon. He's just considered the best. Okay. Yeah, he's basically considered the best professor because ever since then everyone's specialized because he was the Pokemon. He was the Pokemon professor in the first game.
Yeah.
But then Professor Elm is a specialist in breeding because that's the gimmick introduced there. Birch is the specialist in Pokemon habitation. So where they live, habitats and stuff like that. Because that was the one that introduced like weather and kind of things like that.
Desert.
Rowan is a specialist on Pokemon evolution specifically.
Because that's where they introduced all the different types of evolutions. Go to this specific rock, go to this specific place.
And evolutions for Pokemon that did not evolve in previous generations, like brand new evolutions and stuff like that. Gen 5...
I can't help you now.
No, Juniper researchers, I believe her...
Not Mega?
No, Gen 6 is Mega.
Sorry.
That's Sycamore.
Yep.
Juniper's research... It's a bit vague. It's very vague because the whole thing with Pokemon in Gen 5 is that it's about relationships and the relationships between Pokemon and people. And she's more of like a Pokemon psychologist.
Interesting.
But I believe her research has to do with like the relationships between people and Pokemon and the power that unleashes in Pokemon.
Is that Eevee?
I believe.
Eevee's like Eevee training.
No, because that had been around for a while.
Okay. That's interesting, though. Because friendship had also been a thing since Holland. Like, that's how you evolve.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think about what the gimmick was in 5, and there kind of wasn't a gimmick in 5. Because
the gimmick was that it was a
reboot. Yeah. Because, and the other thing was there was a secondary Professor Juniper. Like, Professor Juniper, her dad is also a professor in the game, and his expertise is Pokemon history. which is kind of also what is focused on in Gen 5. So I guess you could say Pokemon history. 6 is Mega Evolution, and Kukui is about, in Gen 7, is Pokemon attacks, Z moves. So they focus specifically on that. So, of course, this professor will be focusing on Dynamaxing, and her granddaughter, Sonia, will be helping her.
Yeah. And
she seemed like she was a good character.
Yeah.
She had personality.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. The professors seem cool.
Professors always seem cool. Yeah. I don't think there's ever been a bad professor.
No. I haven't. Yeah.
All of the professors, even Elm, who was like kind of forgettable, is still like not forgettable. Yeah. Like he's still got a personality.
Yeah.
Like I think I like every single Pokemon professor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like the fact that they went with an older professor this time around, because they've done younger professors for 3 generations in a row.
Yeah.
Juniper's quite young. Sycamore and Kukui were all younger professors. The last older one we had was Rowan in Gen 4.
Rowan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like that they went with an older professor in Magnolia.
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really cool thing for them to do. I would like them to maybe stick with an older professor for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I mean, Birch is kind of like middle-aged because
he seems 40 odd.
Yeah, because Birch, he's
a dad.
Yeah, he's a dad. So yeah.
Constantly, I love in the Gen 3 remakes how they constantly do the
yes,
like and every time you go back, it's
he's just getting chased by a Poochyena constantly.
And then a Zigzagoon, which is a cool like Emerald thing because they did swap that for Emerald, and then like a Taylor or something.
Yeah, just keeps going.
I love it. It was great.
And then we got the Pokemon gyms and how you'll be Dynamaxing in the Pokemon gyms. Yeah. There's more to that, I feel.
Yeah.
There's going to be way more to that than just like, it's a Dynamax battle. It's going to be way more.
Because like, is there going to be puzzles leading up to it? Like,
I think it's going to have to be.
Yeah. Like, because the stadium seems to take up the whole space. Is there like or unless there's like conditions before you go in? Like,
I think it'll be like look, you can't enter the stadium. You can't actually challenge the gym leader until you go do this.
Yeah.
And then you go do that thing in the world, and then you come back and they're like, cool. Well, we're all set up and ready to go to film your gym battle. And you can be like, film the gym battle? And you'd be like, yeah, it's going to be on national television, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because the gyms are televised.
Yeah. But entering these premises, what's the word? Means that you give consent.
Yes.
You're 10 years old, you totally know the terms and agreements of this.
Yep.
You're not going to slander your name in any way.
Yep. Oh, God. And then finally, they did a good old CG trailer to reveal to us our legendary Pokemon. Yes. Zacian and Zamazenta.
Also known as Sif from Dark Souls and, I don't know.
I always think D-Dog.
D-Dog's also a good one. So many dogs with knives in there.
D-Dog. I saw the Digimon comparison.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, Pokemon's been stealing from Digimon for the last, 6 years. I don't know why people are still surprised by that.
They're just running out of ideas. And, there's only so many designs you can do. And eventually there will be crossover with Digimon.
Yeah, it's not that they're running out of ideas. I like the idea of this.
Oh, that's not what I meant by that. There's a finite amount of combos that eventually... Dog with sword was going to be one of them.
Yes, eventually. We just got there quicker than we thought we did. Thought we would have, no, dog with a sword.
I love it. Dog with sword has made me now want to buy sword instead of shield.
Yeah.
Because I was going to shield because I knew that was going to be the one that wasn't going to be bored as often. But dog with sword.
Yeah, dog with
motherfucking sword.
Yeah, man. I like the names too. Zacian and Zamazenta. I think they're really cool names.
Zamazenta looks like the Z name from Final Fantasy. The sword one-hit KO move. Xanasaxu or whatever it's called.
Oh,
one that Odin uses.
No, Zenmato.
Zenmato. That's how you say that?
Yes.
Okay, I always just fucked it up.
Well, Zenmato is the one that oh no, because Odin.
Zensetsuken or something.
Zantetsuken.
Yes.
Yeah, Zantetsuken is one that Odin uses, and then Yojimbo in Final Fantasy X uses Zenmato.
Yeah.
So slightly different, but yeah. I think it's drawing from that.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's the sword one, and it's not. I'm like, oh, okay. It's.
No, I really like the look of these ones. I know a lot of people are like, I love them.
People are always when it comes to the new
legendaries. Yeah.
But they're cool. They kind of like they remind me of the Sun Legendary, and they also remind me of the 3 dogs from Gen 2.
Yes,
but
yeah.
But the thing, giant dog design.
The thing that intrigues me the most about them is the fact that at the end of that they are back to back facing another threat, which is something we have not seen from legendary Pokemon before. Legendary Pokemon don't tend to team up; they tend to fight each other.
You're right, yeah.
And because they teamed up at that end part, that start part didn't feel like they were fighting. It felt like they were sparring. Like training or something like that. And that, again, I think is a cool idea for them to not go down the 2 box art legendaries are fighting each other. The 2 box art legendaries might help each other to tackle another threat.
Do you think this means that the other legendary will be in the other game for story reasons, but you won't be able to catch them? Just because if they are co-op Pokemon to some degree, does that mean you have to get?
Yes, I think they'll be in the other game, but not catchable.
Yeah. Just for story reasons, because like that seems like they are tied together, and if they're looking up, at the Rayquaza equivalent.
Yes, yeah, and I think, and they'll come up with a story reason as to maybe the opposite box art legendary sacrifices itself partway through.
Fuck. Probably.
And that would remove it from the game, so that you would have to trade for it in order to get it. Because
and then you bring in weird story stuff, and like, oh, now I've got one. Like, we can trade for it.
Yeah, but the story and the actual gameplay have never really been connected that much, because it's always like, your Pokemon are really powerful. It's like, yeah, because I just spent hours beating it with a stick. Just hours and hours of beating this Pokemon into submission so that it will do what I want.
Yeah.
Or, oh yeah, I caught 300 of the fuckers and I released 299. This is the best one because the computer says so.
Yeah.
There's the thing about like, you're really close in friendship with your Pokemon. Like, no. These digital bastards just do what I say. But I really like the look of these legendaries, and I'm really looking forward to playing and learning more about them, because I think they're a really cool idea. And yeah, Zacian all the way. Pokemon Sword. Yep. Sword Doggo is going to be my favorite doggo. And I'm looking forward to...
Gun Doggo. I've already seen some box arts for Pokemon Gun.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like an arrow Pokemon. If they go like an arrow or a bow Pokemon. It's not Gun. Shit. All right, well, we've gone through everything, and now we're going to have to move into the E3 predictions. Yes. I'm going to chuck in a timestamp here.
Yeah, for sure.
And probably put these as a separate video, and probably put the E3 predictions up first.
Do we want to take a break? Because I kind of need a pee.
Yeah, sure. We'll take a break, and...
we'll just bonus episode this.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, outro's out.
Oh, yeah, sure. So if you did enjoy this, we'll be back with a bonus episode later on, or probably first before this one.
Yep.
If you enjoyed us, leave a like below and subscribe. If you have any questions, please comment below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/amalgamshow. Remember, you can check out Amalgam Show across all social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Amalgam Show. And also check out the website, www.theamalgamshow.com. We will see you next week for reactions to E3.
Will we be live recording it? Depending on my internet setup, because it's been pretty bad lately because I've been downloading a fuck ton of data.
Whoa, there may not be live reactions, but there will be reactions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, recording. We'll see. We'll discuss that. Anyway, until then.
Bye.